Greetings, and welcome to the original show with Chris and Liza. I'm Liza, your co host, and here's Chris.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris, and I'm co host with Liza on the original. And I'm a homeschool mom, mother of four, healthcare executive. And today we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. Right, Liza?
Yes, and I'm Liza, by trade, your clinical hypnotherapist, stress management consultant, and your co host. At this age, I am single, but right now, I am enjoying this time because I think there's so much of creation and creativity that is happening in our world. And especially today, we're going to be talking about something that, as a matter of fact, we're going to be responding to some emails, right, Chris?
An interesting story about your Valentine's, one of your Valentine's experiences, and it brought on a couple of emails about a particular family situation that happened around Valentine's and a stressful
Ah, let's
situation.
talk about that one.
Yeah, yeah.
How about you do this? Read the letter, and
Okay.
then we can make comments, and hopefully, let's see. Let's see if there is going to be any response, any comments. I will look for it, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, I'm going to shorten it. I'm going to kind of just bring the best points of this email because it's kind of long. But
Sure.
anyway, this writer says, "Hi, Chris. I'm in need of advice regarding my grown daughter, whom I did homeschool myself starting at sixth grade. It's been a very bad few months with her, and her young children have finally moved in with me. H, I'm just going to say H for the name of the daughter, was
Okay.
married in 2015, and but her and her husband G have had difficulty conceiving right away. Finally, they were blessed with their first child in January 2019. Yay! And she's had her a second one just this past November. Oh,
Oh,
that's pretty close
okay.
together.
So it's only 3 months old.
Yeah, yeah. So G was a stay-at-home dad since March of 2020 due to COVID, but he
Okay.
is having a hard time. She's been steadily working, and she's an essential worker as a fire battalion counselor. That's her daughter. And they were planning to homeschool both of the kids, but G doesn't want to be a stay-at-home dad anymore and wants to go back to the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
Has tried over and over again to convince him to stick it out, but it got so bad that he actually left for a couple of weeks to think. And she put that in quotes. So last weekend, he moved out to stay with a friend. And because he hasn't been home, I've been babysitting for my grandkids. I'm fully expecting to help homeschool them as well if it comes to that. What can I do to convince G that his job as a stay at home and homeschooling dad he could possibly have? And she listed all these examples of when I would put links in my homeschool support group, especially since my daughter's career has just started and she's making enough so that he never has to go back to work. I think he's being very immature as he doesn't even have a degree and has just worked in hospitality until he decides what to do. I'm sick and devastated for my daughter who got broken up with just before Valentine's Day. And she has two young babies. She's depressed and stressed with her own job. How could he do this to us, is what she writes. I really hope that doesn't mean the end of their relationship. Help if you can, please. That's her
Okay. May
email.
I? So
Yeah.
I want you to speak on regarding a homeschool teacher, but my first thing is first she says us as if she is part of the immediate family, although she is helping her daughter. Her daughter just had a baby only 3 months ago, and she is working.
Mm-hmm.
So the baby is with the grandma and another child. So in a way, it's like a reverse role.
Yeah.
But as a man who is a provider, as a man who has always been the person who goes out and brings um, brings the dough the
Mhm.
traditional way. I believe now he's been put in a position that it was not a choice. Maybe they did
Right.
not discuss it. They did not plan this.
Yeah, they did
And
say it was due to COVID that he was
see,
a stay-at-home
that's
dad.
it. I think due to COVID, a lot of things has changed.
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of relationships have become stronger, and there are a lot of relationships that have broken away.
yeah,
And
unfortunately.
you know, so either they got stronger or they split. Now it's going to be in a place that it's like his position is not as good as hers, and I think that's up to them to make a decision. So for him to walk out when his wife just had a baby and his wife just went to work, so the priorities in their relationship and priorities in their life as who I think you matter or what I matter, that's something that needs to be addressed before the homeschooling of the child.
Of
And I
course.
leave the homeschooling part to you.
Well, as far as the homeschooling is concerned, if I read the letter more carefully, the oldest child is only 2 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
really there's quite a bit of time before homeschooling becomes an issue. And when I say homeschooling becomes an issue, that means that the state will come in and have, state of California, which this writer has sent an email from. In California, you have to let the state know what is your plan for educating your children at age 6. So so
Okay.
you have some years. So, and I think that you're right. There's been a lot left out of this email, and it's very one-sided. This person is siding completely with her daughter, and maybe just focusing, kind of hyper focusing on the homeschool because she herself was a homeschooling mom back when her daughter was younger. So she's probably seen the great benefits of
Is that
homeschooling
true?
herself. Yeah, she said that she homeschooled her own daughter starting at
Okay.
6th grade. So she didn't even start homeschooling her daughter until her daughter was 11, 12 years old. So there's so much time. And I think there needs to be a little bit more empathy. And I did, when I responded the first time to this person, I said, let's just show a little bit of empathy,
Mm,
because it is a COVID related circumstance where he was out of work. And trust me, I was a stay at home mom, homeschooling and stay at home mom for many years. It is not an easy job. It is not for the faint of heart. It is really, really difficult. For me, my own personal opinion, being a stay at home homeschooling mom was emotionally harder than being a working homeschooling mom. And
but
there's
you
many,
also
many
had
circumstances.
help,
I had help. I had tons of help, but it was still hard. And you're
of
right. This,
course.
this family, I mean, they have her as kind of the help, the grandma is the help. So it's a good thing, but at the same time, it isn't easy. And I almost speak to her from coming from the affirmations that you, Lisa, have given. Your affirmation for today, Thursday, that you emailed on our email log, and it's perfect for the situation. That everything has to come from infinite love. So
Mm,
if your approach to everything comes from infinite love, you will be less selfish, I think, in kind of your, not only your suggestions or your argument, but in your point of view, because in everybody you see is someone you love and care about, and you care about what they feel and what they think. And on the practical side, on the homeschooling practical side, there's plenty of time to wait and see what goes on. And of course, because one parent may have been homeschooled and the other wasn't. I'm assuming that the husband hasn't been homeschooled, and so we don't even know from my point of view as a kind of an advisor to the family. We don't know if he's even 100% convinced that homeschooling is the way to go for his children.
or
Especially,
maybe,
yeah,
who knows in 2 years what's going to happen.
exactly.
I mean,
Being
the
at
kid is
home,
just a baby.
they're
It's like
babies.
not even a preschooler. So it's
Yes,
time. This is where the child from the age of 0 to 7 is where the child literally is looking, listening, and learning. Looking, listening, learning. It's like a sponge.
absorbing
They
everything.
look, it's like they're taking in their foundation is being set. And if their
Right.
foundation is being set and they are looking to see what's going on, let's say, according to this letter, daddy has left the house for 2 weeks to think. That baby does not know the difference. Maybe they ask for daddy, daddy is not there, daddy comes and goes. That's fine. But if mom is not there and it's only grandma, then grandma's energy, grandma
That's right.
oozes that energy out when she is hugging the child. And if you happen to be listening, I want you to know that every essence of you, everything you think, everything you say, the way you touch the children, and the way you speak to your daughter and about your son-in-law, and it doesn't matter who he is, what he is, your daughter must love him. Or if there is any conflict, when you are hugging the child, that should not be oozing out of you, because that's what children take. They're so sensitive to
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Their antennas are higher than adults,
Hmm. Yep.
right?
Way higher.
So from the time that a mom is pregnant, that child is incorporating every sound, every smell. That's why we are so connected uh, to touch and to scent. Scent
Mhm.
is one of the strongest things. We've talked about this before.
Right.
So let that child explore, let that child touch and play and grow. And whatever is happening, and if there's going to be an argument, please, if you can do this, go to another room, go to it. I know couples that children grew up, they're saying, I never saw my parents fight. I know they had arguments, but it was always behind closed doors. We never got in between. We never found it. We never knew that there was any difficulty. And I think that's the way it ought to be. So, because then the problem is the children, if parents are speaking and grandparents get involved, children automatically have to take sides. And as you and I've talked about it, who do you like more? Or, this is what daddy did, this is what mommy did. The child is all about love. They're not
Right.
supposed to make decisions.
Right, right, right. And it's not being done to them. What's happening between the parents isn't being done to them. And so I'm almost this letter, although it's asking for a lot of homeschooling tips and tricks and like articles and I have tons of them. I have tons. I can send all of them. What I really want to express to this person is that what really matters is how you interact with your grandchildren, and don't try to solve the problem, because this
Mm,
is a huge problem, and I don't want to belittle the problem, but it really is going to take so much more than just the articles and the links and all, and having a like a frontal lobe argument with this person. It really does take a lot of emotional strength, but who really needs the emotional strength are the kids, because she's the one with the kids while both parents are not there. So it's for the
mm,
bulk of the day, just like teachers, for the most part, before, had for the bulk of the day was with the kids. So it's almost like it doesn't even matter what the problem is. It doesn't even matter what the argument is. What matters is that these very, very young children, they're babies, especially the brand new baby, be just held in love for the day that she has them, for the hours that she has them, because that's what they need. They'll survive any problem, they'll survive any challenge if they have unconditional love from
correct.
someone they can attach to. And if it can't be mom and it can't be dad during the first 10 hours of the day, then it's going to be grandma. And that's really what I want to put her focus on that, and not so
Right.
much on getting all this she called it ammunition, and in some parts of her letter she says, I just need ammo. I need ammunition. It's not a war. If you come from
Exactly.
a
And
love,
why
you have
and why would grandma need the ammo?
Right. Why would grandma
You
even?
know, because if she is going to be home with him, then she's sitting over there brooding or, ready to attack, ready
Right.
to, it's the ammos. And
The energy of
it's not
conflict. Yeah.
it's not his fault COVID happened. It's
Right.
not
Right.
his fault that he is out of a job. It's not his fault that they wanted a bigger family.
Hmm.
It's not a fault.
Right.
That's the whole thing. Relationships are not a fault. And if we can only change the words and say, I choose. If
Mm.
we become choice, then it brings us more of an empowerment. I choose to go to work. I choose to stay home. And whatever it is, it's like today I was speaking to someone, I was doing a blessing of their home and everything. And as I'm standing there doing the blessing and I'm calling the archangels and everyone, Archangel Gabriel and Raphael, and then suddenly I got the chills and I said, I hear the sound of a baby. And she said, I'm going to have a baby? You mean by choice? And we both started laughing. And I'm like, well, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I hope
Wow.
it's by
You're
choice, you and your husband. You already
such
have two
powers.
kids. So and we started laughing, and that laughter became more joy. And she said, it's so amazing that you said that because I was telling that to my husband, and he said, wait, let us get into the house first. So the talk is always the there,
Mm.
This is what I am saying. When we choose, when we connect, and the moment we say yes, it's as if the universe says, did you say yes? I'm going to bring it for you,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
And love is the same.
Right.
So I hope that this beautiful grandma who loves and cares for her daughter and the children chooses to become more loving and graceful and hugger.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's not about solving the problem. It's about what's happening today, what's happening right now. Where is your heart right now? If you're and this goes for a lot of people, whether they're working mom, homeschooling mom, stay at home mom, or dads. If your focus is on some argument when that person gets home, I'm going to say this to them. You're not in the present, and
Correct.
when you're not in the present, you are not fully there for the people that need you. And when you're a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, you need to be there for your kids. Your kids, and the other thing that she says, whenever the 2-year-old wants something, he gets. She didn't put this. I didn't read this part of her letter, but she was saying that his approach to the 2-year-old is just to shush them, and not and as a homeschool mom, she always believed that you would have to talk to the child and ask what's going on. And she's right. Yes, she's right. But you have to remember, not everybody was raised that way. I certainly wasn't. When I wasn't raised where I could express myself safely, right? If I cried too much or got too angry, it would upset my parents. It would rattle them, and they would tell me to stop. So it takes a while. If you're not conscious about the way you were raised and the difficulty around your emotions, that's going to happen around your children. So her gift to her grandchildren is to be that person, that treats her grandchildren and with presence, her absolute attention and presence, because she can do that. She's in a position to do that. And that's going to be the greatest service she can give to her family. So much more than, throwing this article in front of them and showing them this statistic and, all of that. I mean, that is helpful if it ever comes to that, but we don't even know. I don't even know from this person's letter whether the parents are even, 100% in sync or aligned in their thinking about homeschooling. If you
Mm,
are thinking, if you're holding a 3-month-old baby and that baby is crying or smelling from the dirty diaper, and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to homeschool this, it's very, very difficult. Especially if you don't have experience as a homeschooling person, homeschooling either as when you were homeschooled as a child yourself, or if you're a homeschooling parent. If you're not experienced, it's a very difficult thing to come together and say, this 3-month-old baby that is now like exhausting me, I'm going to have to homeschool them too. It's a hard sell.
It's too early.
It's too early.
I think the whole concept is too early to talk about it. But it was great that she reached out, and
Yeah,
hopefully
absolutely.
this talk will shed a light for her to be the support system for her daughter and her son-in-law, for them to come to understand one another, and as so they don't have to worry about the kids as much, and they can
Exactly.
come to a better understanding of family planning.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's where this needs. As a matter of fact, there is a great book I would recommend. It's called Right Now by Steve Chandler.
Steve
Eh,
Chandler.
Steve Chandler,
Okay.
and it's called Right Now. So everything in that book is being present. And if we can be present to this moment instead of worried about an email or what's happening with the neighbor or what's happening there, or maybe I have a scratch here, and be present for the next half an hour, the next 20 minutes of here we are, so that we are present with each other, Chris, that we can bring the best of our energy and our responses to our audience. And by all means, if you are watching, please make a comment. We would love to hear your comments. If you are watching this on a replay, you can say hashtag replay, watching on replay. If there is anything that we can help you, please ah, send an email to either one of us, and we'll be more than happy. Our email is scrolling right here. I'm being a producer and a director. So
And
we do receive your emails.
yeah.
If there is anything we can help you when it comes to homeschooling, health, and wellness with Chris, if there is anything in mind and body connection, stress management, anxiety, children, teenagers, menopause, I am here to help you.
Yes, and I get a lot of emails because I mentioned that I'm a homeschooling mom. I do get a lot of emails from parents who are not traditionally homeschooling but are in pandemic schooling right now and experiencing a lot of stress. And so, of course, I will highly recommend Liza for stress management when you're reaching that. But I guess the advice that I have to tend to give over and over again is that you have to realize that your kids learn from you.
Mm,
You are really, whether you are a homeschool mom or or an actual teacher, you're the way you respond to stress is their biggest teacher. The things you say to yourself and to them becomes their inner voice. So if
mm,
you're constantly saying, "This is crazy, I can't handle it," that's good. That's going to repeat. That's going to repeat. So really, a lot of things. Yes, pandemic schooling is very stressful. Yes, the kids are, have a hard time. Yes, the teachers are having hard time. Now there's all kinds of stress because the teachers haven't been vaccinated, but they're going to open the schools up again. So there's a lot of stress. Yes, there is. That's right, there is. But your kids need a safe place to express that frustration, express that with knowing that you're going to be there, you're not rattled by it, and they will learn from your example how to handle the stress. So if you are really unable to handle the stress, look at that. Take a look at that, get some support, because that's really in the end all that matters.
right.
Because and unfortunately we've had very people close to us have been lost to COVID. And when you're in that you're facing that and it's their last breath, nothing else matters but the love you have between those you and those people. That's really all that matters, is the love and the people that you love and that are around you. The scores, the time, the grades, it doesn't matter. All of that will come back. It'll recycle. We're all in the same boat anyway. You need to deal with your own stress and anxiety so you can be strong for others.
Exactly. We're all in the same boat. I mean, it's how we respond to pressure. It's how we respond. Uh, Today, I was at one of my network clubhouse in a room, and the discussion was, how do you start your day? Those are all high level entrepreneurs, and they were talking about the rituals that they have in mind, body, and spirit. And you would think that when you are a high achiever person, you don't have time for that. As a matter of fact, they were talking about that they spend more time in self healing, self realization, self management, self care, and so that they can tackle the rest of the day much better.
Yeah.
And they were talking about meditation. They were talking about starting their day an hour early, doing movements, and someone can do run, someone is doing yoga, someone, myself, I take my dog out on a walk, and we have a beautiful pathway near our house. When I am with him, no cell phone. I have it with me only to take pictures, and you've seen some of my pictures.
Yes.
It's becoming one with nature.
Yeah.
I look at the birds. I am in awe every time I see a bird, the trees, the color of the trees, the leaves, the pathway. I am doing my incantations, my meditation, my prayer, thanking God for everything, from my body, from my dog, my family, everything, looking at the city, saying hello to people who are passing by. That in itself becomes right now. It
Yeah.
grounds you, it solidifies your existence. And when we have that moment, it's so godlike because we're so part of God, right? And it can be God for you as a viewer in any way. It can be doesn't matter your religion, because it's your higher power, it's God, it's whatever you believe is your higher power. That in itself, and it doesn't matter if we are a regular worker or a high achiever, we're all human. So love, grace, presence.
Right. And being in the present was something I had to learn to do.
Mm,
I learned it through Liza, through our hypnotherapy sessions, to get into a present state and be so quiet with myself and comfortable with myself that I could hear my own heartbeat. I'd never ever done that before hypnotherapy with you, Lisa, and it's a gift to be able to do that, because it does, I can tell you health wise, it does a lot. It cuts your stress hormones in half, instantly. And of course, the stress hormone is what causes a lot of problems in your body. It breaks down your immune system. It breaks down your organs. And so the less stress hormone you have, the better. And if hypnotherapy is a wonderful way to achieve that, as is walks in nature and physical activity, meditation, exercise, all of those things. So, if you haven't really dipped into that type of self-care, you really should consider it. And then, of course, like those executives are telling you, then they can tackle problems. Then you'll
mm,
a clearer mind and a stronger kind of foundation to tackle very big problems. Otherwise you'll just you'll run out of gas. You'll run out of energy, you'll run out of gas, you'll run out of creativity. So
Chris,
yeah.
I heard of a fantastic detox. You want to know about it? It's
Yes.
called it's called dopamine detox.
Dopamine detox. Okay.
And
Okay.
apparently it's a real thing. And
Uh-huh.
what they said, that this guy from India, he was talking about this, and he said he does dopamine detox twice a month, which is on a Sunday. He gets up, and from the moment he wakes up, he shuts phones down.
Uh-huh.
He does not eat anything hard. Everything is going to be liquid.
Okay.
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 And he chooses that day, um, for half the day. He does not speak to anyone. His
Oh,
cell phone, his TV, everything electronic is off on that day. He calls it, it's my day with God and my family. Everything is natural.
mm,
It's playtime, it's family time. There is no TV, no computers, no cell phones, nothing.
wow. Well,
Yeah,
that's a challenge, but it's a good challenge.
it's a great
Yeah.
detox.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
So,
says we do a lot of reading together, we play games together. I do a lot of journaling, we do cooking and eating.
mm.
It's a day of nourishing.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I
Yep.
loved it.
That's a great idea. I'm
I
going to try
know.
that.
You
I'm gonna,
know, if what if every one of us were to start only once a month? If we do
yeah.
it once a month, and then you'll see the bond in family or with yourself, with God, yourself, your body, with your kids, everything becomes stronger. Because I was thinking of one thing. There's a lot of people who pay money to go to silent retreats. If we can do it at home without paying for it,
Yeah.
make that a rule once a month to do this dopamine because you get all this stimuli from
Oh,
outside.
okay. I see
That's
what
what
you mean.
he is shutting out.
Oh, okay. So that dopamine high you get from like Facebook or social
Yeah,
media or
people
it's
are addicted to
yeah.
this machinery, right? He says that in itself, it's a stimuli from outside, and all the electronics and everything. When you shut that
Mhm.
TV, everything off, your dopamine becomes your love and family.
Ah, very good. Very good.
I
That's
loved it.
definitely, yeah, I love that. That's definitely something we're gonna try. You're right. It's difficult to do that, but we've been able to do it. Like before when we used to travel, we used to spend time at the beach, and of course, at the beach, there's no internet, no phone, and it's just us and the sand. So yeah, we need to get back to that. I think now because we aren't able to go to Hawaii yet, we'll do that. We'll go to the mountains. We'll go and yeah, the kids are learning to ski, so it'll be
There
us
you
in the
go.
mountains. It's a
Yeah,
good plan.
hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll just and there's no service up there anyway, so
Exactly. For good reason.
for good reason, exactly. Bond with nature. Yeah,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good. And
So I hope this was helpful for you, my lady who wrote the letter. I hope this was helpful for all of you who are watching this either live here. I see we do have some people, or for those who are going to be watching afterwards.
yes, I'm going to post this on the on my Facebook fan page as well as some of the other homeschooling blogs and
Beautiful.
support groups, so that there'll be more feedback, I'm sure. But like I said, I just Lisa, please repeat your affirmation that you sent an email today, because I think that's really the key to approaching any problem, not just the problem that this woman has emailed us about, but any problem, especially the big one.
Actually, I would like to share something else.
Okay.
I'm all about quotes,
Okay.
right? I love quotes, my own quotes, but today I came across and I just said, I sat with it and I said, today's intention and what quote can I come up with? And this is the quote. Ever since happiness heard your name, it has been running through the streets trying to find you.
Oh,
That's from
wow.
Ferdowsi, and Ferdowsi is one of the oldest graceful poets of Iran. Just like Rumi, a lot of people don't know about Ferdowsi, and Ferdowsi was one of our highest rewarded and graced, honored poets. So again, ever
Beautiful.
since happiness heard your name, it has been running through the streets trying to find you.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
But I do want to definitely read your affirmation that you sent today.
Today,
Is deep at the center of my being is an infinite well of love.
mm,
And I think if we approach any problem from a well of love, of an infinite well of love.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the problem has much better perspective. It doesn't have to overwhelm the family, doesn't have to overwhelm you. And you're floating 30,000 feet above it, is like what I like to say. So.
Well, this was amazing. Thank you so much, Chris. It's always a pleasure and to be with you, to co-host the sessions with you. And I am hoping, more than hoping, I am positive that even if it is one word, one message, one suggestion that is helping you, please share it, subscribe to our channel, and let your friends know about it. And by all means, comment, because that's how we can bring the things that you want to you and those who are watching.
That's right. Thank you, Liza. And yes, and this email was perfect to share on our show because, just your affirmation alone today, I think is going to be a tremendous help for her. It was when I was answering the email. And, I do honestly believe that we're going to all be okay. We're all going to be okay.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
So until next week, we bid you goodbye.
Yes. Have a good one, everyone. Get some moonlight, get some sunlight. Take care.
Yes. Bye-bye.